Chapter 7, Engagement. Like, a fighting engagement or a romantic engagement? Because if it's the latter, I'm on board, but it's probably going to be the first one I said. But just for the record, I'm on board for the second.
Your progress the last 2 days has been remarkable. You went from struggling to release a psi-burst or control your sphere, to being able to do both reliably. And your telekinesis is much more precise as well. I'm impressed.
I guess you were right when you said I was holding myself back. I didn't expect to make such a leap ahead with my progress so fast.
You hesitated. Is it that difficult to admit I was right about something?
No. I mean, well, it's a little annoying.
Jack often says the same thing. It is truly irritating how you two can be strangely alike at times.
Sorry, I guess you have a type, CAISSA. What can I say? That makes me excited, though. All this, like, comparison with Jack, I'm just like, oh man. Morgan and Jack are gonna be 2 peas in a pod. Next time.
I should be grateful the similarities appear to be superficial.
Sounds like an insult.
More for him than for you. He could stand to be a little more like you.
If my abilities had leveled up, so too had my relationship with CAISSA. Unexpectedly so, to be honest. Maybe it is going to be a romantic engagement. Though I suspected it was because of a change of attitude on my part. Given our recent outing, I found my reluctance to trust him had faded. My frustration as well. Knowing more about my situation had done wonders for my ability to cope. But it wasn't only that. CAISSA seemed more comfortable with me too. It's because he let you in, and you appreciated his vulnerability, and, you know, you got to bond and stuff. It was nice, you know? You're bonding, girl. It didn't make this place welcoming, but it was nice to feel like less of an outsider. This place would never be welcoming, but at least some people were now. That helped a lot. CAISSA walked back to where I was standing, returning the 6 slim darts I'd thrown moments before. You guys are playing darts in his room? Stop, that's so cute.
Let's go again.
For the record, I find this activity much more enjoyable than lifting weights in the training room. But I'm surprised you think it will be that useful.
Considering this morning you tossed the heaviest weight across the room as if it was nothing, I felt it counterproductive to continue working on that. It may not seem like it, but what we're doing right now will help you gain a finer control of your telekinetic ability.
I was wondering about that. I'm like, okay, you've got the strength down, now you need to control it, the finesse of it.
Queen ranks are naturally adept at high-level telekinesis. And while it is impressive to, say, bring down a building, or toss a vehicle at someone...
Hey, I've only done one of those, thank you.
Having precise control of that level of skill is not only safer for you, but will allow you to apply your abilities to something other than sheer destruction. Not every use of telekinesis has to be a flashy show of power. Besides, control such as this can apply to your other abilities once it's learned.
But it's a little tiring to do it while keeping my sphere actively encompassing this room and the nearby hallways.
Perhaps. Nevertheless, you're managing, aren't you? While holding a conversation, no less.
He walked around behind me and slid his hand along the back of mine, lifting my arm to a horizontal position.
Now try again.
Right. Trying my best to ignore his sudden presence, I instead focused on my psi and wrapped it around one of the darts in my hand, flinging it at the target. Rather than throwing it and letting it fly on its own trajectory, I kept my hold on it the entire way, guiding it to the center. Or trying to, anyway. My control wobbled a bit at the end. It hit halfway between the center and edge.
Not bad. Keep going. You have 5 more.
Can you give me some space? It's a little distracting to have you... Look at the smug face right now. Look at him like, am I distracting? Thank you for noticing. CAISSA, I cannot with you. You give him a smidge, and all of a sudden... he doesn't have to put the mask on anymore, and he's just like a mischievous kid. It's great.
You find me to be a distraction?
Goosebumps rose on my arms as his breath whispered past my ear. Yes, of course I do. I tried to pull away, but his free arm circled my waist, holding me in place. Damn.
We still have training to do. Where are you going?
Is he teasing me? CAISSA. There was a low chuckle, and he released me. Dang, what an evil boy.
I probably shouldn't bully you so much when you're trying to practice.
No, you shouldn't. This sort of thing really isn't good for my heart. Same.
I'm not usually prone to teasing others, but it's those sorts of reactions that make me desire to do it even more.
I glared at him. CAISSA held up his hands, chuckling as he stepped away.
I'll leave you be for now. You have my word.
You know, somehow you're unexpectedly... A knock at the door interrupted us, but I swear I saw a smirk on that stupid pretty face as he went to answer. Stupid pretty boy, he was so pretty and distressingly beautiful, and the smirk and the hair and the tattoo and the muscles and the rings. Blech. And, of course, it was Jack, who'd returned from the court yesterday and couldn't bear to be not the center of attention for 5 seconds. Sir... Even Morgan is like, my dude. Great. He was alone, and I assumed that meant Veli had yet to return. I perked up when, instead of coming in with his normal grin and stupid remarks, Jack leaned close to speak to CAISSA where I couldn't hear. Most of it was unintelligible, except one phrase.
We need to talk.
There was a strange urgency in his voice, as if he was worried about something. CAISSA didn't question it at all. He nodded and turned to me.
Morgan, I'm afraid we must pick it up from here later. Perhaps this afternoon. For now, you may return to your room. If you would like, you may go down to the greenhouse with Carrie for a while.
All right. Thanks. I shot Jack a curious look as I passed him on my way out. He seemed troubled. Something was going on. But when was it not, right? I opted to go to my room for the time being. I'd go for a walk later on. Maybe if CAISSA and I did some work together in the afternoon, he could go with. No! I did not let myself finish that thought. No. I did not need CAISSA to go with me. But you want him to. Good grief, Morgan. I knew where my stupid heart was going with that, and I was not doing it. No chance, no way, I won't say it, no. Something about this route is bringing out all the Disney in me, and I'm... Maybe because CAISSA has Prince energy, I don't know. I was not falling for CAISSA Fianchetto, the son of a dangerous mob boss. The heir to a vast criminal organization, heir to a company with shady dealings. The man who was considering starting a quiet revolution in the neighboring dome to make it better for the army of Espers he was helping to avoid detection by other parties. Nope. Damn it. When had my taste in men changed so much? I think you mean improved. He wasn't even my type. I saw him be nice to some orphans one time. Besides, my type was... An image of Trent came to mind. Blech. Disheveled, sleep-deprived, guzzling coffee as he ran out the door for the latest exam. Then again, that type hadn't exactly worked out well for me either. No. I guess my taste in men has always been pretty... out there. And I couldn't deny CAISSA was really attractive. To be fair, so is Keres, for an older man. Girl wants all the guys. She's like, actually the dad's pretty attractive too. Girl, control yourself. Which proved looks could only take a man so far before I had to start considering whether he'd murder me in my sleep. But that makes it exciting, right? CAISSA isn't like that, though. Ugh, why was I arguing with myself over this? I like to think that Morgan is making all these faces as she's walking, and Carrie is just watching with amusement. When had the bar for romance become whether I could trust him not to murder me? I mean, you were just thinking about his dad, so that's on you, girl. I mean, it's not like that's the only thing I like about him. He's complicated. And it isn't as if finding him attractive meant I had to jump into a relationship with him or something. A relationship with anyone who had the name Fianchetto seemed like a monumentally bad idea. CAISSA's face flitted through my mind again. Girls got it bad. With everything I'd learned about him, and the new sides of him I'd seen the past few days, I felt I'd come to understand him a little more. He was a better person than his father. Better than many people here. The sort of person who could focus on something bigger than just himself. To help others. Despite everything, he was a surprising person. Easy to misunderstand for sure. But also he had qualities that were... Ugh, no! Still a bad idea. A very bad idea. I am in so much trouble right now. Guys, help me out. Carrie and I arrived to my room to find June standing pensively in front of the door with a large flat box at his feet. What's going on? She stopped a few feet from him, and even I could see he seemed on edge. What's that?
It was delivered earlier. From Mr. Fianchetto. One of his men dropped it off.
Is he making moves? Is it roses? Is it a bomb? So many possibilities. CAISSA's father?
I couldn't refuse, so I had them leave it here. They were insistent on taking it inside and said it was from Keres himself, to be opened by Morgan.
Carrie and I shared a look. Keres definitely didn't seem like the gift-giving type. Let's get it inside the room. I'll check it out. Can we, like... I don't know, scan it psi-wise somehow? Does it give off an aura of any kind? Or does that only apply to espers or living things? Carrie motioned me to stay by the door as she carried the box to the bed. You two are being awful cautious about a box. For good reason. You'll thank me if it turns out to be something dangerous. Have you learned any defensive techniques? Psi shields? No. Then stay by the door. It's light, so it's probably something benign, but I'll check. Just keep your psi to yourself while I do this. If there's anything that reacts to psi inside, it's best if you're not the one to activate it. But you... It's fine. What exactly do you think is in that box? I don't know. That's why you will stand where you are while I check. She was expanding her sphere around the box and homing in on it. I knew Carrie was an Esper, but I rarely saw her use it. And it was such a natural use of a psi that I sort of kicked myself for being astonished she didn't just open the box to check it visually. She removed her hands after a moment, a puzzled look spreading over her face. What is it? Carrie pulled the lid off and lifted something out of the box, holding it up for me to see. Oh my god. What kind of dress? What? We got a dress? Please tell me we get to see the dress. A dress. But is it coated in poison? I can see that, but, why is there a dress? There's a card in the box. Are you going to let me come close enough to read it? Yes. Why is Keres sending me a dress? I said it more to myself than Carrie. It's not like she'd know either. And it was a party dress by the looks of it. Then again, CAISSA had said there was some event coming up. Oh, true, right, to show off the new queen. Perhaps it was to do with that. I picked the card up, turning it over to inspect the front. It appeared to be handwritten. An invitation? The script was neat and the message short. Wait. What? What is... What? Whoa. What's happening? I'm not getting engaged to your dad, am I? Because that'll be awkward. The door burst open and CAISSA strode into the room without knocking, a dark frown on his face. I just stared at him with the card still in my hand. His eyes went straight there and he let out a soft groan.
Oh, so you've read it.
Engagement? You and me? Since when? Oh, God. Okay, it could have been worse, though. I thought the dad was like, you know what? I'm just going to engage myself to the new queen. Which, you know, could have been a thing. But instead he did it with his son, so there's that, at least. Okay, so it's an engagement. It's an engagement. Okay. Yeah, what happened? What has transpired?
Carrie, please leave us. It would appear I have some explaining to do.
That's what they call an understatement, CAISSA. What's going on? Carrie retreated, casting a wide-eyed glance my way as she exited the room. What is going on, CAISSA?
I apologize. I was not aware he would attempt something like this.
He... being your father?
Yes. He heard about the outing the other day, which is unsurprising. Everything eventually gets back to him. When he asked me where I took you, I realized he had heard enough to suspect it was a date of some kind. I allowed him to think so. It seemed the wisest course of action. I didn't particularly want him to know we went to the court together.
I understand that much, but how did we go from a date to an engagement party? What exactly did you tell him?
Nothing that would warrant this move, I assure you. I said I showed you around the city, and we had dinner together.
Does your father frequently jump to conclusions like this based on that little information?
He does not. That is why I am also unsure what he's planning. Or why.
Is it just to... try to catch you in the lie? So it's like... you know, if he was lying about the date and Morgan was not in agreement with it, then by pushing it to an engagement, she'd be like really upset and loudly deny that there was anything romantic going on, which would catch CAISSA out for lying to Keres about it, potentially? Or is there more to it than that? Yeah, that CAISSA. Potentially.
Perhaps it's merely an attempt to call my bluff. Or perhaps he believes this is an opportunity to solidify your connection to the family.
That is also a possibility. Perhaps he's really desperate to marry you off?
I suspect it's more to do with you than me, unfortunately.
I need to stop being shocked by everything your father does.
To be honest, it has been a long time since he's managed to surprise me like this.
How did he even arrange an engagement party this fast?
I discussed the outing with him the evening we returned.
Still!
And he was already having a party this evening. He simply co-opted the purpose of it. He'll play it off as you and I being young and reckless, that kind of thing.
Your family is mind-boggling.
Believe me when I say I'm perfectly aware of that.
Oh, I believe you, but that isn't the issue here.
And what is the issue?
I can be emotional, or I could be affectionate. I cannot be stubborn. Of course, we're gonna go affectionate. You don't have a problem suddenly being engaged to me?
Should I?
You barely know me! Isn't there someone else? Doesn't it bother you? I looked down at the invitation in my hand again, at a loss. CAISSA's cool fingertips slid under my chin and lifted my face to look at him.
You're taking this awfully seriously, aren't you?
Pushing his hand away, I toss the invitation back on the bed. Are you saying you aren't?
Does that annoy you?
What? No. Why would it annoy me? You annoy me. He turned away, but not quick enough, and it definitely didn't hide that his shoulders were shaking. He's probably like, whatever, just like play along for now. I'm busy dethroning my dad. You know, we can just be engaged for a long time. Just play the role, it's fine. And meanwhile, she's like, this is serious. I'm marrying this guy. I was just thinking about, like, how it's not wise to even go on a date with him, and now we're engaged to be married. Amazing. How can you find this funny? CAISSA caught my hand, a slight smile still on his face.
Then, would it make you feel better if I also took this engagement seriously?
No! That... when he put it like that, it sounded worse. He seemed far too amused by my reaction to all this. His smile softened, and there was a hint of sadness in it.
It's just an announcement. It doesn't mean our relationship has actually changed. It may be awkward, but try not to stress over it too much. In many ways, this is more convenient.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, you guys could do a lot more outings if you're officially engaged, because it wouldn't be as suspicious. So, you know, you can look at it from that angle. And then, you know, if it just so happens to lead to an actual marriage, well, that's just a benefit, right? You know, there's unintended benefits. Not for my damn heart.
It means there is no chance at all of you being moved under someone else. That has been a big concern of mine for a while. We'll have an excuse to leave the mansion together when we like. My father only cares about the appearance of an engagement, so that is all we have to focus on. And we can take advantage of that appearance as well.
I guess that's true, but I never expected...
If there is anything you should expect here, it's the constant threat of unexpected things to deal with, and we must simply roll with them when they arrive. I know this is abrupt, but it isn't the worst that could happen. At any rate, for the time being, we should focus on getting through this evening. We can handle the rest as it comes. Planning too far ahead will cause unnecessary stress for the both of us.
I suppose that's true. He nodded to the dress Carrie had laid on the bed before she left.
From my father, I take it?
Yes. Someone delivered it while I was with you. I came back here to find it waiting for me, with a card graciously informing me I'm now engaged. CAISSA lifted the dress up with a soft sigh.
As usual, he just chose what he likes.
Oh?
Will you be comfortable in this?
He frowned at the dress, clear dislike on his face. What did Dad pick for her? I took it from him and laid it back on the bed. I'll manage it. It's just a dress, and I only have to wear it once.
I'll be back to escort you down to the ballroom later this evening. Until then, I have some things I want to see to. My father is always careful with security, but I want to ensure some of my people are stationed at the party too.
It was staggering to me how much CAISSA didn't trust his father, and how much his father didn't seem to trust him either. Or does he? It wasn't like an engagement to CAISSA was the only way to bind me to the family. The fact he'd go this route was a little odd, wasn't it? Yeah, I'm like, he could have chose to engage you to himself, he could have just threatened you, threatened your family, tried to bribe you, like, tortured. There's a lot of different ways that this could have played out, but he decided to engage you to his son, which is interesting. I mean, if he didn't trust his son, why leave me in his care, much less try to bind me to him like this? Although, he did make the statement about how F-class Esper's abilities are better when there's emotions involved. So maybe he actually wants the two of you to fall for each other, so so there's emotion there, which will enhance both abilities. Because if he threatens one or the other, it'll put the other in stress, and their abilities will be heightened. Maybe something like that. That could be. I can't remember if I read this now, so I'm going to reread it again. I mean, if he didn't trust his son, why leave me in his care, much less try to bind me to him like this?
Morgan?
Yes! Sorry.
I'll see you this evening. I hope...
His frown deepened, and he turned away, tipping his head down so his hair obscured his face.
No. Nothing.
Alone, I flopped onto the bed with a loud groan and draped an arm across my eyes. Ugh, what is even happening anymore? I was in the shower when my Nano system came back online. Well, not entirely, but without warning I could access time and date settings again. What? Before I could even fully grasp what happened, a notification came through for a... call? I'm in the shower! Why do people want to see me in the shower all the time? I declined the video request for obvious reasons, but accepted the voice call. CAISSA?
I apologize for how sudden this is. I wanted to discuss something with you, but didn't have time to stop by your suite.
What's going on?
I wanted to warn you, the press will be at the party. My father is clearly intending this to be a widespread announcement.
He's what? No, of course he is. Because it's the only way this could be even more dramatic. Also, it's quite disconcerting that you keep turning my permissions on and off at will.
I apologize, but I needed to speak with you right away.
Did it have to be while I was in the shower? ... The pause that followed was long enough I almost thought our connection was severed.
I wasn't aware you were in the middle of that. I didn't mean to disturb you, but I felt this was urgent.
I appreciate that you let me know in advance. Is there a reason we should expect press attendance?
For better or worse, I am the heir to the Fianchetto family. Even for those unaware of our less public affiliations, my engagement would be significant news. It's possible the press were alerted for appearances. By tomorrow, this will be everywhere on Arcalis. It's practically announcing your location to the other factions who were seeking you.
That's true, too.
I don't understand what my father is trying to accomplish by announcing to the world that you're with us.
What do we do?
We can't do anything about it for now, but continue to play along and stay alert. But I didn't want you surprised this evening.
Thank you.
I will also leave you with limited functions of your Nano system going forward. I can't give you back full capabilities, but I want you to be able to contact us for help should anything happen. And I will let you get back to what you were doing.
The call disconnected. It had felt the past couple of days like maybe things were stabilizing, and now everything was out of control again. Shock. I turned the water off and stood dripping in the shower for several minutes. The problem, of course, was that none of this was in my hands. Not the fake engagement, not anything. At least CAISSA let me know about the press ahead of time. A week ago, I don't think he would have. So I guess that's a silver lining? I wasn't sure it felt like it, but it was all I had. Whoa! Damn, girl! You look fantastic! How is that? Too tight? It's fine. I can still breathe, so we're good. It looks great on you. Mr. CAISSA will like it. Though it's not like I have to impress a fictitious fiancé. Never hurts to impress him anyway, does it? I mean, I guess that's true. And it's always nice to look good for yourself as well. Very true. If it was up to me, I would not be attending this party. I know. If it were up to any of us, you would not be attending this party. So the rest of you aren't keen to see me parading around as CAISSA's fiancé either? It's less to do with that, and more simple concern for your safety and well-being. What do you think about this whole engagement anyway? I don't know that my opinion matters. But you've been here a while. I'd appreciate your insight. Is this something I should have seen coming? I doubt anyone could have seen it coming. Mr. Fianchetto is difficult to understand sometimes, but everything he does is with one goal in mind: to further empower the Fianchetto family. This engagement of yours to CAISSA was surely done with that in mind as well. There have been obvious tensions among the factions since you arrived. People have been vying for the chance to pull you into their group. Perhaps by solidifying your connection to CAISSA, he hopes to reduce those tensions. Won't that make it worse? You'll find that people rarely waste effort here. If they see that it's futile, many of them will drop the subject. So this might be to restore some peace between the factions. But why does something feel off? Clearly, CAISSA's relationship with Keres was in shambles. And if everything eventually got back to him, then Keres had to know something more was going on with the court than what CAISSA was telling him. Was it really possible he didn't know that's where we'd gone? And if he knew that, why strengthen my ties with CAISSA's faction? You look like something is bothering you. It's just that there are a lot of different moving pieces, and a lot of scheming. It's difficult to work out where I fit into it, that's all. I hate feeling like I'm being moved here or there by someone else. As long as you trust the person determining your movements, it's not all that bad. I don't trust Keres. Keres is not the only one moving pieces. A soft knock sounded at the door, and I nodded to Carrie as I smoothed the dress and gave myself a last check in the mirror. Well, 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 look at you all fancified. Yeah, I love that he has, like, just a small hint of red, like, right on the collar. That's pretty nifty. I wonder if he changed his mind about the dress after seeing her in it. CAISSA stopped in the doorway, looking strangely nervous as his gaze swept over me.
You look,
No! You are not allowed to look that good, Jack. What the frick? I'm shaking... You guys can't see, but I am literally shaking my finger at the screen while I look away. I'm just like... Huh? Who are you? What have you done with Jack? I don't even recognize you. You also look a little bit like a priest in that outfit. I don't know why. Ugh. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're fine. This isn't good for my heart.
Stunning. That's the word you're stumbling over yourself to find. You look stunning, Butterfly. Keres has good taste.
CAISSA shot him a glare he blatantly ignored.
You ready for this?
Not really, but I'm not sure it's something you can prepare for.
Do not leave my side tonight. Everything will be fine.
I'm not scared.
I know. Nevertheless. We'll put in a good appearance and leave as soon as it's acceptable to do so. I expect many people will want to meet you. Allow me to take the lead. I'll also be nearby, just in case.
The fact that you have to be nearby just in case worries me. He laughed at that. What happens after tonight?
What do you mean?
Well, as you said, by tomorrow everyone is going to know where I am.
We'll have to be careful with leaving the mansion for a while, but it won't differ greatly from how it is now. In any case, with the way you're progressing, you won't have to worry about others being a threat much longer. It doesn't matter how adept you are at using Psi. You always have to be cautious. Not everyone is like you, Jack. What's that supposed to mean?
CAISSA ignored him.
It's unlikely anyone will move against you if that's what you're worried about. Moving against one of our family members is a move against the entire family. No one is stupid enough for that.
And your father? Should I expect a box with a wedding dress to show up soon and an invitation alerting me the wedding is that night?
Hardly. But you also shouldn't expect that Keres will let you get away with an engagement that goes nowhere. You can expect some kind of wedding preparations to start up.
Somehow I'm not shocked.
Don't worry too much. We have at least a few months.
Good. Because my mom will already be furious if she learns about this engagement on the news. I don't want to think about what would happen if she thought I didn't even invite her to the ceremony. Mom isn't usually a murderer, but she might take a page from your father's book if she thinks I eloped. And I'm just saying right now that my mother and your father would be a horrifying combination.
That isn't a bad explanation for why you're here, though.
Don't you dare. You can wipe that look off your face, sir.
Oh? And if I do?
She would never believe I gave up school for you. Damn!
That's a little insulting.
I mean, look at him! Who wouldn't give up school for him? That's the point.
As entertaining as it is for me to be the third wheel while the two of you flirt...
We're not...
Morgan, you may want to brace yourself. These parties are incredibly boring most of the time. Only because no one of note is interested in talking with you.
Will there be people of note here? I assumed it was just your father's, business associates.
You'll find my father's business associates span a wide range of people, including some top politicians and businessmen in Delphine. And some rather shady individuals from Delphine's criminal underworld.
I'd expect nothing less. Your father is the shadiest man there, no doubt.
One day, I'd love to see you say that to his face, Butterfly. I'm going on ahead. Let the two of you make an entrance as the couple of the night.
He winked at me as he passed.
Good luck.
He strode ahead of us to a room down the hall, from which I could already hear music. CAISSA took my hand and set it in the crook of his arm.
We'll go in from the side. I'm sure my father would prefer us to make an entrance, but it will be easier if we slip inside without being noticed. We'll get plenty of notice when he makes the announcement anyway.
He paused, his eyes meeting mine for what felt like a long moment before he lowered them. I couldn't be sure, but it felt like a hint of color crept across his face.
I didn't quite manage it earlier, but truly...
He glanced back at me with a faint smile.
You do look beautiful.
Dow! And when she's got that blush, girl's radiant. Thanks.
Chin up. And brace yourself for the stairs. It's likely to be a long evening.